Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, December 21st. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and should be good to go. Looks good. Looks good there. A few more things down below. And it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Looks good there. Bad guys, posted that link in the wrong place. There we go. All right, I'll give a few moments for people to make their way in, and then I'll start marking up liquidity on our main chart over here. All right, guys, let me go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. So I'll start off with the daily time frame. Going down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. All right, looks like we are good to go. So I'm gonna go down over here to the 1-minute time frame. And here's where price is currently at. So closest level of liquidity down below is going to be over here at 37,579. This is going to be the lower level. We got a bit of some liquidity or some volatility. Liquidity is it's not super close, but it's looking good. So we do have some liquidity over here. We have liquidity above at 37,732, and down below it's at 37,579. So we have liquidity on both sides over here. Price is right in between both. Going over to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up opening price, which is 630. And also 8 o'clock right here. Let's go up to the 4-hour time frame. So we got some structure up here. Structure down below. Going over to the 1-hour. More structure right here. And that is about it. All right, so we got the 1-hour resistance level right here. And I think that's it for right now. This is the 4-hour resistance. And this is the 1 hour support. Or actually, let me check real quick. Yeah, okay, so this is actually the 1 hour, the 4 hour support. There's no 1 hour here. All right, so down below we have the 4 hour support level. All right, looks good so far. And we'll see where price moves and market opens in the next couple minutes. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, December 21st. It is 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about a minute. Let's see what's here so far. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Maddie. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Lila. Yeah, Stephen, for the original breakout, the cutoff is 6:35. For the breakout V3, there's no cutoff, so it just comes out once a day. So, I mean, depending on which one you're looking for. Morning, Albert. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, market is opening in about 30 seconds. I think we had news this morning too. We had news over here at 5:30. It's pretty much mixed. So news at 5:30 and 7 o'clock and 7:30. Obviously, you guys can see where news happened. It's this big spike right here. 5:30. Then we have news at 7 and 7:30 right here. Seven, 7:30. All right, guys, market is now open. So I'll go around open market opening price over here. If this here closes with the buy signal and it's a strong green candle, this will be the original breakout. So if you guys are looking to take that, we'll continue to follow. There's no pending buy signal on it yet. So there goes the buy signal. It's currently pending. Again, if this candle closes strong, meaning there's little to no wick on top with the buy signal, this is going to be the breakout version 1. So you gotta look out for the wick on top because the wick on top is pretty big right now. So it has to close very little for it to be considered the breakout. Personally, I think the wick on top was a little too big, but if you guys wanted to take the breakout, you could have taken it there. I wouldn't have taken it because the wick on top is just too big. That's the reason why we don't really apply the breakout version 1 anymore because it's just too subjective. I mean, depending on the person, some people would take the trade, some people wouldn't. I wouldn't. This is kind of what I was warning about. I said if the buy signal closes, you got to make sure the candle above is strong. This is not a strong candle. The wick on top is just a little too big. So if this candle right here closes strong, this could be a continuation of the breakout, or it can be the actual breakout version 1. If we have 2 green candles that follow it, that's going to be a breakout V3. So again, if this candle here closes as a strong green candle, this would be the breakout. The only problem with this here is that we had some very high impact news over here at 5:30. You can see the big bullish push right here. So it's a little tricky to be trading right here at this moment because of the movement. So now Steven's in the position right now. There you go, Steven. So Steven took the position for the breakout right there, the riskier one. And then he got his profit right there. So he locked in his $1,000 that he aims to reach for the day, and he's done. So nice work, Steven. So this is what I was talking about, Steven. Like you're good at taking the breakouts. Like if you see it set up right there and it lines up with your confidence and how you feel like taking the trade, just take it. So Steven took the trade there, hit his goal for $1,000 a day, and now he's done. So great work, Steven. See you back here tomorrow. Yeah, easy as that. And there goes Steven. He's gone. Yeah, it's crazy because Steven, Patty said, thank God. Yeah, no, this is like what Steven's good at, the breakout. I'm not even that good at, well, I carry the breakout, but the problem with the breakout is it's so subjective that there's so many red flags, not really red flags, but there's a lot of trickiness when identifying the entry. So I don't really like or actually there's currently the breakout V3 that's currently running right here, guys. This candle like literally just closed. If anybody's looking to take it, let's see. So I was trying to set it up real quick for the buy stop. So I set up a buy stop right there to catch it if it comes up. Probably only gonna go for 100 pips because I was kind of late into the entry. So let me just mark up the 100 pip area right here, so I know what to look out for. That black. All right, so there's two entries that are running alongside each other right now. We have the breakout version 1 and also the breakout version 3. So the breakout version 1 is like right here, I believe. Let's see if I can move this over. It's kind of messy right here. It's currently at. Breakout version 1 would kind of set up like around this area right here. It's a 25.25, and then the breakout V3 would be right next to it, which should be right there. Yeah, Kenneth said, I respect that he leaves immediately after he gets it in. Yeah. And that's kind of like what he needs to do, because if he doesn't, he's gonna be stuck in the position like for an extended period. So I didn't get into the position yet. I was putting in my pending order over here. And I have my pending order here now for the breakout V3. I'm only gonna go for the quick 100 pips, like somewhere around this area, because and it just came up super late. So I wasn't able to really catch it immediately. When I saw it close, it was like such a small panel right there. And whenever something like that happens, I typically want to just wait for it to pull back a little bit and then put in my order as the price continues to, obviously move along. So it was a little tricky for the entry there because it happened so quick. And here we go as price pushes back up. Let's see where it's at. Pushing upwards. The volatility is currently 17 right now, so we have quite a bit of volatility right now. Full TP on my end. So I took it for only 100 pips right there, guys, and it was straight push to the TP. So, I mean, it's probably going to hit full TP, but, again, with all the news happening this morning, I didn't want to risk it. A lot of uncertainty here, and it came up super last minute. So there you go, full TP on the breakout V3 and for the breakout V1. So depending on which one you guys wanted to take, we marked up both of them. They went alongside each other. But how'd you take the loss there, Camel? Camel said he lost and he took it again because it never came down to stop loss. The stop loss is like way down here, or the see. So I think you're doing it wrong, Camo. So Camo said for him, he took for him to take 2 trades a day, his stop loss has to be smaller. You shouldn't be lowering your stop loss. You should be lowering your lot size. So the stop loss is there for a reason. Like we have it set at 300, especially because the ATR is currently, you see how high the ATR is? If your stop loss is too tight, you're gonna get stopped out super quick because it's 18. So you get like 2 candles, it's gonna go down at least like 300 pips. So I think you're doing it incorrectly. You gotta, well, I mean, you obviously were doing it incorrectly. You gotta follow, like the stop loss is there for a reason. You gotta lower your lot size. That's what you gotta do. So future reference, you should never lower your stop loss. The stop loss is always, it should always be where it's supposed to be. But anyways, guys, full TP right there for the trades. Yeah, it should be 300 because the breakout version 1 is 250. The breakout V3 is 300. It's always been 1030. Yeah, it was never 25. It's the reason why the version 1 is 25 is because it's a 1-to-1 and it's more of a subjective move. For the breakout V3, it's always been 300. So let me see if I put it up here. Like the criteria never changed for the breakout V3. Yeah, see, it's always been 30-30 or 1030. It's never been 250. So, all right, let me make some adjustments here real quick. Here, let me just screenshot this before we continue on because I don't want to get stuck in this right here. All right, so I'm going to take a screenshot of the first one, which is the breakout version 1 over here. So that you guys can have it on the spreadsheet. So it's the breakout. It's the breakout B1. And then we also have breakout B3 that followed next to it, so that you guys can go back and just review this later if you guys need to. B3, which is 300. All right. Let me take this off real quick. I'll take a screenshot of my profits and we'll see where you want to go from there. Looks like liquidity got touched. Maddie just confirmed here. So liquidity over here just got touched and it went right through. If you went for that second touch, this one hit a little early. And now it's setting up for a high-low scalp V2. So this is actually a regular high-low scalp as well. Yeah, the candle was kind of too big, like Maddie said, so I wouldn't have taken it. But this is an original high-low scalp. Let me measure it real quick. Yeah, the candle's way too big. I wouldn't have taken this here. So that's one of the red flags here if the candle's too big. In order to determine if the candle's too big, you just put your stop loss up. And if your stop loss is smaller than the actual candle, this right here would have been one to avoid. So for this one right here, this would be considered, and there you go. There goes the high-low scalp V1 or original high-low scalp. The ATR is super high right now. So if you guys can see down below, the ATR is currently at 21 and it's climbing even higher. So this is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because the market's volatile and that's what we want. It's a bad thing because there's going to be a lot of whipsaws in the market. So that's something to look out for. You probably want to wait for price to maybe pull back a little bit for entry. So for example, here, if the high-low scalp V2 comes up, you might want to just wait for it to pull back and then go up. This was the original high-low scalp. This one already hit full TP, but the candle was too big, so it would have been avoided. This candle broke and closed past the higher high. This candle was too big. It was bigger than the stop loss, so we would have skipped it. But it is setting up for a high-low scalp V2 right here. So we had price broke and close above it, price broke and close below it. Now, if you're looking to take this for a high-low scalp V2, you're going to wait for entry to come up right here as price swings right back above. So right here, as price swings back above this blue line, that's going to be entry point. So break and close past higher high, fake out, continuation back up. Yeah, like Maddie said, just watch out for the fake outs. The retail sentiment is super high right now. It's currently at 80% short. So this indicates that 80% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. So I'm more inclined to take buys today versus sells. And we'll continue looking as price continues to, obviously move along here. All right, so we're just looking here for any other opportunities to come up. There might be a breakout V3 continuation to the downside, maybe back to open. Not one that I'm personally looking to take, but if it looks good, I'll possibly take it. So we got a sell signal right here. If it's followed by a red candle, this might push down. For 100 pips, it's not that bad because there's a lot of space here to reach the opening price. So I'll continue to follow it here, but if price continues to bounce back and forth like it's been, probably better just to just wait for an entry in the direction that you want. I'm not really looking for sells here as much because the bias is so strong for a buy right now. And the news this morning was super bullish, so it doesn't even look like it's going to close, which is fine. Oh, what the heck? Oh, no, okay. I was kind of confused for a second there. Man, so I don't know who's using fund engineer. I don't necessarily, and the breakout V3 continuation didn't close, guys. This candle closed green. It's actually a V1 variation, so price might correct back up. So there's a V1 variation set up right here. Again, I don't really like taking V1s. I like using it as a confluence, but I'm not going to take it as a standalone. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's using funded engineer, but for whatever reason, they keep changing leverage on the account, I think, which is super annoying because that's why my account wasn't copying before. I'll show you my profits here. I had to just lower the lot size a lot to conform to whatever leverage it's set on, but it kind of throws me off when that happens. All right, so we'll be looking for a possible buy signal here to confirm a breakout V3 continuation to the upside. We currently have these. So we have one candle here, 2, 3, 4. We still have the high-low scalp V2 that is currently pending to be filled. But yeah, other than that, we'll see. Nice. So Kevin over here actually took the V1 variation, so went straight to full TP right there already. Nice work, Kevin, on catching that. Yeah, solid work right there. If anybody caught the V1 variation, this is what I mentioned. There's a double body rejection there. The higher low is right here. That was an entry for a pretty clean V1 variation. I personally, like I mentioned, I don't like taking it by itself. I like using it as a confluence. So we do have the V1 here indicating a floor bottom, and I'm looking for a buy signal to confirm a continuation to the upside. And then if that continues to the upside, it's going to be in line with the high-low scalp V2 right here too. So you have basically a bunch of different confluences right there to the upside. So here are my profits so far. Here's my funded engineer locked in 472, my FTMO locked in 2,500, my second FTMO locked in 3,220, my second funded engineer locked in 268, my personal account locked in 900, and my TFF locked in 1,062 per account. So those are my profits so far off the breakout from this morning. So price is attempting to climb back up. We have this candle breaking close below 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this candle here doesn't push to the upside, then there's not going to be any entry here for the breakout V2. I mean, sorry, the high-low scalp V2. And it doesn't look like it's going to close, so I'm just going to take this off right here. And now we have a new level up there. Nice, Andrew. So Andrew said the momentum counter scalp hit for 10. Nice, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of entries that are coming up. There's a momentum counter scalp that just came up right here. Basically, the momentum counter scalp continuation. We had a sell signal here, 2 green candles, and Andrew actually caught that for a nice 100 pips right there. So there's 2 entries that have came up right now. There's a breakout V1 that happened right here, and the momentum counter scalp that went in this direction as well. There's just a lot going on right now on the charts. We have a pending buy signal here. This could be a possible opportunity for a breakout V3 continuation. Maddie also mentioned that this back and forth movement may indicate a range before news, which I can see happening right here at 7 o'clock. The news event that's coming up at 7 o'clock is low impact. It's CB leading index, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, that could be the case where price just ends up consolidating here for a little bit. So we have a pending buy signal right here. The only problem with this candle is that it's freaking huge. It's way too big. The thing here that could be useful is that if this here closes above, it can be an entry for a possible high-low scalp on this next level. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's no high-low scalp V2 here, but if this candle pushes above right here, this can be a possible entry for a high-low scalp. It's going to be in confluence with the breakout V3 continuation right here. So you have a bit of confluence here. If you guys want to take this specific trade. So again, right here, if this candle closes green, it's going to be a breakout V3 continuation. And if it pushes up even higher, it can be part of a high-low scalp up here. However, if it closes red, this is something that you want to be careful for. So just keep an eye out for this candle here. If it closes red, this is something that you want to watch out for because this is probably going to be the start of a range. Price is probably going to start ranging right here if this is the case. And it looks like that's going to be the case here. It's exactly what Maddie anticipated earlier. He said this might be indication of a range before news. And that looks like what's happening here. Okay, so there's no breakout V3 there. There's no high-low scalp right there. Nothing else right now at this very moment. So let me go ahead and start marking up, or I don't really need markup. It's currently in the 1 hour resistance right now. There's also a 1 minute resistance above. there's two 1 minute resistances. There's one right here that lines up with the 1 hour, and there's another one up here that is also 1 minute. So it looks like price is just going to range within this 1 hour resistance level. We'll come back and take a look at this shortly. But at the moment, I'm going to leave it pretty much as clean as possible so that you guys can kind of see where price sits in between this 1 hour resistance. That's kind of where I see price ranging from right now until price decides to break above. If it does break above, there's a 1 minute resistance up here. So there's just a lot of stuff here to look at. A lot of moving pieces, a lot of different analysis to align. That would have been a really good entry though if this would have closed as a breakout V3 continuation. Yeah, exactly. Kenny said we could be ranging. I could see that too. So another thing to look at would be the ATR. ATR is currently at 23 right now. If this starts to go below 20, then expect price to start ranging. If it starts to inch down to 20 to 18 to 15 to below 15, then it's definitely going to range or even worse, consolidation. So let's see what happens here. But there's no entries for us to take right now, as you guys can see. Let's take a look at our team profits for the day. So we've got David over here, total profit of 1652 for the day. Nice work, David. We got Albert over here, total profit 943 for the day. Nice work, Albert. We got Johnny over here. Nice. Johnny just passed his 200K. Congrats to Johnny over here. He's a total profit of 9,030 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. So he finally passed it. I know. Such a relief, right, Johnny? Getting past with that there. We got Maddie over here, total profit of 680 per account and 340 per other account on its Apex. So total profit of, I'm not gonna add this up, but it's like well over like 3,000 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. And lastly, we have David over here with a total profit of 56 for the day. Nice work, David. So great profits across the board, guys. You guys saw my profits over here as well. We'll continue to look for some more entries here, but price is pretty much just going sideways, as you guys can see. Not too much going on, back and forth movement here. Here's a clean chart. You guys can see price is pretty much just going back and forth between the one hour resistance level. So thing to look out for here is continuation to the upside or continuation to the downside. Yeah, Kenny said it's been bouncing back and forth between Monday and Tuesday's open. I could see that because it's been ranging pretty much all week. So same difference, like I mentioned this yesterday to you guys, Monday and Tuesday are usually going to be they're going to be the opener for the week. So like if you see what happens on Monday, Tuesday, and you really understand what happens in the market, like if the market's going back and forth sideways, expect that to happen throughout the rest of the week. It's probably gonna be a ranging week. That's why Monday and Tuesday are usually key to avoid any risky entries and just wait to see what happens next, because you can see right here, it's doing exactly that. It helps you really predict what's going to happen in the future. It doesn't always work out that way, but for the most part, it usually gives you a good understanding as to what's going to happen. You can see the big bullish push earlier on open here. This happened because of the bullish news pre-market, right? The bullish news right here pushed price up, came back down for retracement, continuation here on open, and now it's back into a range because there's nothing else pushing price around. As you guys can see, the news from 7 o'clock at 7:30 is all low impact, so it's not really going to do anything to the market. It might push it slightly, but not really much to get it out from where it's currently stuck at. So we have more levels right here. So we got two levels here for the high-low scalp chart. Looking at this high-low scalp chart, if we get a third level here, at that point, it's probably best to just sit back and wait, because at that point, you're going to know for sure price is going to be ranging. Here's our main chart. As you can see from our main chart, we currently have a sell signal that's pending. But again, price is just going back and forth between the range here. So if I draw structure here, I don't need to draw structure on that. I could draw structure right here. There's no support here yet. The support's here at the opening price. So, I mean, realistically, this is kind of where the range can and should be. So you guys can see where the range is at, right? It's ranging between this area here. A lot of fake outs in both areas. So price pushes up, fake out, comes back down, fake out, comes back down. This is where the actual range is. So if you want to look at the 1 minute range, this is the 1 minute range. Realistically, price is in between the 1 hour resistance. So it's currently in between the 1 hour resistance, but if you wanted to break it down even further, it'd be the 1 minute supply, or sorry, 1 minute support resistance right here. So this is the actual range, but if you want to look at the bigger picture, it's actually it's stuck within the 1 hour resistance. Nothing really going on here. Alan said, "Hey, Smile, you got your new teeth." So I don't have my veneers in yet, Alan. I'm getting my veneers done by a celebrity dentist, so like it's gonna take like what's today? Like 5 months for it to get done. My teeth from yesterday, if you guys are following me on social media, those are the first draft. So the first draft of my veneers. It's the first draft, and I gotta get some teeth work to kind of straighten stuff out a little bit. And then we go to my temporaries where I kind of put them in. That's probably gonna happen around April. And then my final veneers coming in May. If you guys saw my social media yesterday, yeah, I gotta go to the dentist again today. So it's like, it's a long process. A lot of people get their veneers done in 1 day. And that's why like a lot of people get bad veneers, or the veneers, they hurt because it's supposed to take a while. It's not supposed to just happen in 1 day. Some people go like international and get their veneers done, and they usually don't come out well because it's super rushed. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have them yet, Alan, but I'll probably by next year for sure I'll have them done. Super excited for it. Yeah, no, definitely, Alan. It's all good. I mean, I would if I had them, you'd know. You for sure would know. All right, there's no entries right now, guys. Let me just clean this up a little bit so it's not a messy chart. We do have a possible breakout V3 continuation coming up right here. Yeah, we have a possible breakout V3 continuation coming up right here. I wouldn't really recommend taking it because price is in the 1 hour resistance. It's not even looking like it's going to close, and it didn't. So there's no entry there for a breakout V3 continuation. So again, guys, we're just waiting. ETR is starting to drop down a little bit. News is in 4 minutes as well. Thanks, Kevin and Maddie. Yeah, no, definitely. Johnny said, yes, big relief. Appreciate the mentoring from you and Maddie. This is by far the best Christmas present. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, no, definitely. So Johnny's been struggling for a while, just with consistency. It's the same thing that everybody goes through, consistency and discipline. But Johnny finally passed. So like, this is his best Christmas gift to himself, passing his FTMO. I mean, it's a really good feeling, guys, because, I think for a lot of you guys, if you guys are doing a challenge and it feels like it's impossible, you just achieve the impossible at that point. So nice work, Johnny. And now you just got to keep up the consistency and the discipline moving forward so that once you're funded, you'll just get consistent payouts like how I do. But the stress kind of comes off once you're funded. You just got to remember to stick to your game plan that you did to get to that point. Maddie's asking, are they shaving your teeth down too, or is it a different type of veneers? They only shave your teeth down if it's like necessary, Maddie. So for me, I have to just get a lot of deep cleaning because I haven't gotten them cleaned as much as I'm supposed to. And my teeth are they're a little brittle. They're not brittle, but they're not as strong as they need to be. So I just need to get a lot of cleaning done. But yeah, they do shave down your teeth if your teeth are too big. Like if you got some Bugs Bunny teeth, they're gonna shave them down. My two front teeth are a little big, but they're not that big. So they don't have to shave it down. It just goes on. It goes on as it just gets put on top of my teeth basically. So yeah, I know there's different processes for the veneers depending on how bad your teeth are. You might have to shave them down, or you might have to get them fixed before you put on veneers. But my teeth are the only problem with my teeth that they're kind of small, so they just give them a fuller look and a wider smile. So yeah. No, if your teeth, if you need them, then yeah, you might have to get them shaved down. It just depends. But I would recommend going to a reputable dentist It's going to cost a lot, but it's worth it because you can't go back. Once you get your veneers done, you can't go back to your regular teeth. So you want to get it done by someone that's reputable, and you want to pay. You're going to pay a lot for the veneers. I think mine was like 30,000 just for the top, which is cool. So I need to keep winning on these trades so I can pay for my veneers. What did I do today? I did pretty decent today. So like 1,000, 5,000, 6,000. I just need to have a good month. Once I have another good month, it pretty much pays off for my veneers. And that's kind of like some more, like, I don't know if anybody else feels this way about like trading and stuff, but like for me, in order to keep me motivated, I always end up buying something really expensive like every year. Every year I buy like a couple of expensive things, like really expensive things, so that I kind of feel like I'm broke, and it makes me want to make more money from trading. So yeah, like last year I got my car, and then this year went on a bunch of trips. Last year I went on vacation like every month. So it just gives you motivation to keep going and trading, because trading is unlimited. Like if you guys, well, if you guys have been trading with me for a while, it's like the earning potential from trading is like it's really unlimited. So, you know, you gotta put it somewhere. Like you make the profits, you put the money somewhere, and then repeat the process. Just make more money from trading. Yeah, Kenny said you need to buy some real estate. Yeah, I would, but it's just not the time to buy real estate right now. It's like the worst time, like the very worst time to buy real estate at the moment because the interest rates are so high. Next year is probably where I'm going to plan on buying some more real estate. When the interest rates go down a little bit, they're not going to go down a lot, but enough to make a difference. Nice. So you're looking at Arizona. Arizona's cool too. If you're familiar with the area, I would recommend buying real estate in areas that you actually are familiar with, because it's I know some people who bought houses in Arizona and they're not worth anything right now. So it's not always like cheap isn't always good. Like I think California, it's expensive, but it's a good place to have property because the value is always going to go up. Got nice. Yeah. So Kenny said he used to live in Arizona. That's good. So if you're familiar with the Arizona area, you know where the house is, like the housing market's good and where it's not. For me personally, I don't. So no, that's good. You're looking in Tempe. Yeah, I have some family and friends that bought houses like in the Glendale area. Not doing so good. It's kind of I mean, it's right next to Phoenix, but it's not where people want to live. So yeah, Tempe's good. Tempe, and I think Scottsdale and stuff like that, those areas, college areas for sure. All right, guys, so we got news right here. Here's the news at 7 o'clock. It was negative. It's low impact news, so you can just watch it to see if price actually moves. So what you want to look for here is possibly look for price to push up and then maybe come back down. But it's so low impact news that I don't think it's going to really affect it too much. It was forecasted to be negative 0.4. It was negative 0.5. So not a big difference here. I wouldn't use this as a news correction type entry. I don't think it's going to be that useful for the most part. Sorry, Sam's asking, Sean, was the previous higher high a high-low scalp V2 entry? Sorry, Sam, let me check what you were asking for. So Sam's question came up at 655. I don't think there was any entries here, Sam. Not on this side. If you're talking about this higher low right here, this wouldn't be an entry because you need to have the trend in that direction. So the trend here is still bullish. You can see, or it's somewhat bullish. In order for it to be bearish, this red pivot has to be above all the other ones. So there was a setup right here, but the trend wasn't bearish, so you couldn't use this here for the entry. You'd have to have a trend confirmed before you can take that type of entry. Let's see, Sam's asking for the higher high for a buy. So this here wasn't an entry because the candle's already passed. So this is the one that we were looking at earlier, Sam. We had this here, price broke above, broke below. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles right here. So the price never came up within those 5 candles. So there was no high-low scalp V2 there. That's why I took it off. So there's no high-low scalp there too. It needs to happen within 5 candles. So this candle broke below 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This candle would have had to come up for it to fill, because it has to happen right away. Yeah, no problem, Sam. I know it's kind of confusing if you're not too familiar with it, so that's fine. All right, so there's still no entries here. Price is inching down to opening price down below. It's kind of what we were looking for earlier. We had the sell signal here come up. We were looking for that red candle to come after it so that it can come down to opening price, which it didn't. So Again, right here, there is no room for entry at the moment. Nice. Albert said his dream is to buy in break in Colorado. Yeah, Colorado is a really nice area too, especially if you're familiar with it. One of the guys they used to help me with the group before back then is from Colorado. He's doing the same thing out there too. He's in solar, also in real estate. Yeah, Ken said, I'm hoping to use this to pay off my student debt. That's the whole reason I got into trading, guys. So like before this, I was an attorney, as most of you guys know. I was working as an attorney and I was trading with you guys also. But I started trading full time because I started to realize that like working as an attorney, I made pretty good money as an attorney. I made like maybe like 200K a year as an attorney, but it's not enough to pay off my student loans. Like student loans from law school and college are super crazy. So that's why I got into trading and I started making way more money from trading. And I still haven't started paying my loans off because there's loopholes around it. So I'm going to be using a lot of this money next year to pay off my student loans before I get into other stuff. But yeah, that was my main driver initially. It was to pay off my student loans. Yeah, Daniel said his friend has an office that 3D scans and prints veneers in 30 minutes. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I did yesterday, Daniel. So yesterday, my dentist had my veneers printed out, just to see how they would look. And then from there, we're going to build off that. So we had the artist put together my teeth, basically, and then we put them on to see if I like them, and then from there, we're going to make some small changes to perfect them. Basically, give me perfect teeth. All right, price is currently open right here, and it is now just going sideways. So it's currently at the support. So the support level right here. Here, I'll draw the support right here so that you guys can see. So this is the 1 minute support. It's actually bouncing off the 1 minute support right now. This was a 1 minute support from open. So you guys can see the lower low right here. This is where market opened. It opened here initially, and it established the 1 minute support level. So this might be a double bottom or it might be a fake out and price may come down a little bit. We'll see. This is also a V1 variation pattern starting to set up as well. Okay. And Andrew mentioned that it's creeping down to the sessions. Yeah. So what might happen here is there's a sessions below. So price might come down and then fake out off the sessions right here. Come back up. So you can't see the sessions on here. I just turned them on right there. So as you guys can see now, this could be a fake out, because you can see that a lot of people are probably looking at this as a double bottom, right? So here's the fake out that might happen here. Price might come down for the fake out, reject off the sessions, and come right back up for a W pattern. And there goes that fake out right there. Let's see if it pushes back up. Alan's asking, what type of law did you practice? I practiced civil defense. So I practiced civil defense back then. I handled a lot of insurance defense. So I did civil defense for a lot of insurance companies. So like I defended companies like Uber. So like Uber drivers, whenever an Uber driver would get into a car accident, like a really serious car accident, not like a small like fender bender or something like that. It was something where like someone would die. So like if, I had some crazy cases when I was working as an attorney, like where Uber drivers would like park on the freeway because they're like arguing with their passenger. The passenger would get out of the car and then get run over off the freeway. It's crazy. Those are the type of cases that I would handle. I would defend Uber. So if like the person who died would try to sue Uber, I would have to defend Uber and basically poke holes in their argument that like, it wasn't Uber's fault. It was this idiot driver who like pulled off on the side of the highway. But I had stuff like that. And I defended other companies like State Farm, where like, homes would get burnt down and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I did when I worked as an attorney. A lot of defense. for like big corporations. All right, so there's nothing else over here right now at the moment. Back to our main chart. There's no V1 variation, or no, there isn't. But you guys can see the fake out right here off the sessions. Price came down, faked out on the sessions. I mean, it might come down even further. Price might continue to range around this area, come back below, fake out again, and then come back up. But it's really close to the sessions right now. Kenneth said, I'm calling it. Happy with what I got. See y'all tomorrow. Yeah, definitely, Kenneth. I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with what I got today too. So here are my profits for the day so far. I'll just add them up real quick. So 472, 25, 20, 320, 220, 268, 900, 1062, 1062. I made 9,504 for the day. So not too bad for just one trade that I took earlier. So we'll just continue to look here. I mean, I'm not going to get off anytime soon, but I'll just continue to, I'm not going to force any trades, of course. You know, my main goal here is not necessarily to give you guys a bunch of entries. It's necessarily to give you guys a bunch of heads up, not when not to take entries. So this is a bad area right here. I wouldn't take any entries around this point because, you know, like I mentioned, it's so close to the sessions. I think price will come down and touch the sessions. It hasn't touched it yet. It got really close, but it didn't actually touch it right here. So if you guys look down here, it got really close, but didn't actually touch the session. So what I want to see is I want price to actually come down, touch the sessions, get manipulated, and then maybe swing right back up. And you can see right here, it's inching towards the sessions, right? It's getting super close, hasn't touched it yet. And there you go. There goes a touch. I wouldn't be surprised if this here would fake out and swing right back up. So I would personally look for, you know, like a V1 variation, and there goes a V1 right there. So we're getting a V1 variation directly at the sessions and news price right here at 530. So Maddie over here identified this as a 10-minute demand. I don't really trade supply and demand, but that's good that Maddie's looking at it. So this goes in confluence with what we were just looking at. Maddie said it's bouncing off 10-minute demand, and I said it's bouncing off the sessions. And we have a V1 pattern right here. It all lines up. Exactly. So this is why it's good that other people are in the group who trade differently, because we have multiple confluences. Maddie looks at supply and demand. I look at sessions. I look at V1 variations. We have, you know, a plethora of confluences that'll basically give you the confidence to take the next trade when it comes up. So like, for example, right here, we got price bouncing off it. We have a pending buy signal on this candle. If this candle pushes up higher, this might set up for a breakout V3 continuation. So a lot of good things here to look at. It's really just balancing with, like, it's being able to adapt with the market, because the market's always changing. There's always going to be different things to look at, but being able to adapt with the market, like using multiple confluences here, will help you, you know, find that great trade that you're looking for. So yeah, Daniel mentioned went back to 530 news price. It was due for it to come back and retrace, and then now it finally came and touched it. I think this, yeah, the first time it came back and touched it. So news happened over here at 530, price pushed up, came back for the retest, never came back to test it, came back up, came back for the retest right here, finally came back down, and now it's attempting to swing back up. So there goes a pending buy signal right there. Again, this might be one of those days where this buy signal might be pending for like 20 minutes, right? You guys have seen it before. There's like one day where it actually was pending for like an hour. I think we had a sell signal that kept coming up and disappearing. That's usually a sign to stay out of the market, because it's going to confirm that price is consolidating. You can see over here down at the ATR, the ATR is still pretty high, but it's not as high as it was earlier. It's at 20, it was at like 25 earlier. There goes a buy signal right there. We'll see if it actually closes. But if this thing here keeps coming up and disappearing, that might be a sign to maybe just sit out of the market and wait for a better confluence. Because if that's the case, you know, you just might get caught in this back and forth movement for like the next 30, 40 minutes, which we've had in the past. Let's see. Yeah, Camel said, if nothing else, this education on sessions is gold. Needed this. Yeah, no, definitely, Camel. It helps a lot. So the buy signal closed right there, guys. If we get another green candle after it, it may be a setup for a breakout V3 continuation. So something to look out for there. I'll continue looking at it. If it closes, so I might just look for it to kind of bounce back and forth a little bit. But if it closes and it's like for sure green, then I'll probably take it. But if the candle's too big, then I'm probably gonna hold off a little bit because it might have to retrace. But yeah, I'll follow it right here. The candle's looking a little too big, so I might wait for it to retrace a little bit before taking it. Because if the candle's too big, it's probably gonna have to retrace a little bit, especially if you measure it, it's pushed up like 300 pips. So it's up super hard and super heavy. Yeah, it's way too big. So I know this isn't one of the rules, but it's one of my rules specifically as a red flag to hold off on it initially. So I'm not going to take the trade yet. I'll probably watch it. If it swings back up, then I'll maybe hop in for the quick 100 pips that it might push up for. So I'm not in the position yet. Again, I'm just going to continue watching it here. And if it swings back up, well, I want it to pull down a little further. It's too close right now. I can't even put a pending order at this point. If I don't get entry, it's fine. I'm just going to watch it. So right now I'm just watching it. I didn't get into it. Should have got into it. It's all good. The candle's just a little too big. So I just don't like the way that the market's currently moving right now, but it played out pretty nice. So if anybody caught it, it went solid. I didn't take it. As I mentioned, this candle was a little big, so I was looking for it to kind of pull down a little bit. And I was going to put it. Sorry, guys. All right. So yeah, what I was looking for was I was looking for price to kind of pull back a little bit like it did right here. And then I was going to put my penny order and I was going to write it up, but it's okay. It's still play out on hit CP. I'm not going to count it as an official entry because I didn't take it myself, but you guys can see price is now pulling back super hard. And this is what I was worried for. This is why I didn't want to get caught in because the candle here is too big, right? You have a bunch of small candles here, then you have a big candle. This is going to have to retrace at some point. So I did not take the trade there, so it's not going to count as an official entry, which is fine. Other than that, let's see. Medusa, there's a pending V1 on the 5-minute and the 10-minute time frame. So it looks like it closed out on the 5-minute and the 10-minute, or the 10-minute is still pending. It has about 3 minutes left on it. The 5-minute did close. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. And here we go as price continues to kind of bounce around a bit. Nice. Yeah, so Camel said he got some slippage, but profit made almost all of my loss back. Nice work, Camel. Yeah, no, great work right there. I mean, it was a good entry. So like if you were looking at it as a breakout V3, it was a good entry. The only problem here for me personally was that the candle was just too big. You can see here how it's kind of bouncing around a lot. This is what I mean about volatility being high and it being a double-edged sword, because the thing is it's going to hit your TP, but if you don't get pulled out immediately and you get caught in some slippage, like what Camel said, you might be stuck in the position. So like he pulled out, got some slippage, but he still made profit. And again, right here, same situation. Like this is the thing that I'm most worried about is the high volatility, because you're going to get a lot of this happen. Like, for example, you might get some small candles here, then you might get a big push up, retracement, and then continuation back up. That's kind of what happened right here. So if you guys see this here, price pushed up, pull back a little bit, swing back to the upside. Yeah, so Cameron said, I don't care if I don't pass until February. This education on sessions, waiting for candles to pull back, all this helps. Yeah, exactly, Cameron. It's going to set you up for success in the future. You know, because a lot of the stuff you weren't really looking at in the past, now that you've seen it, you understand that this helps you get better every single day. Yeah, guys. So like, there's no rush to get funded. Like with FTMO, I know like back then, a lot of people were rushing to get funded. But the thing with that is that if you rush to get funded, you don't really learn anything. And then when you get funded, you just blow the account right away. The good thing with Camo here is that he's taking it slow. So, you know, he doesn't care if it's going to take him like 2 or 3 months to get funded and to pass. But once he gets passed, he's going to know that this is what he needs to continue doing to stay funded once he's actually funded. So yeah, I 100% agree with what Ken was doing, because that's exactly how everybody should be doing it. Rarely anybody does it that way. They want to just get funded right away and then blow the account the week after. Right? You just got to find that discipline and consistency and just repeat the process every single day, like we do here in the live session. Daniel's asking, how long did it take you to consistently be profitable? So my situation is very different from everybody else because I never had a mentor. So when I started trading, I kind of just did everything myself. I did a lot of trial and error. So I probably traded for like 2 years where I wasn't very profitable. Well, I wasn't profitable at all. So the first 2 years, I wasn't profitable at all. I was just negative. And then by the third year, I started to find some profitability, but I wasn't consistent. So I'd say probably by like the fourth year, I was consistently profitable. And then from there, I just kept expanding further and further. So the difference with me is that it was a lot of trial and error. I was on the charts every single day, like Monday through Sunday, like 24 hours a day, just trying to learn stuff and understand the patterns and put stuff together myself. It's different for you guys here because you guys have me as your mentor, so you can ask me whatever questions you have and I can clear it up to pretty much point you in the right direction. So for me, it took a longer time, and I'm glad I did it that way because now I understand how to read the market and how to I know how to I know how to adapt with the market myself. Like I don't need to ask somebody like, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or I don't need to ask somebody like, how do you do this or how to do that? Because I pretty much learned how to do everything myself. So yeah, it took me about like maybe 3 or 4 years to be consistently profitable. 3 years to be profitable, 4 years or 5 years to be consistently profitable. And then now I've been trading for like, I think 10 or 11 years now. So I've been profitable for quite a while now. So it's been pretty, it's been a long journey, but I think it's all well worth it because now I'm pretty much a specialist on like US30 over here, and I am able to identify a lot of things that a lot of people can't. So yeah, Maddie said Sean cut the learning curve for us. Yeah, and the good thing is that I'm still here. It's not like, you talk to me once and then you don't get any future help. You guys could literally just come on these live sessions every day and I pretty much point you in the right direction. I show you guys what to look for. I show you how I identify trend, where my entry points come in from, where my red flags are and stuff like that. And that's like years and years and years of repetition and fine tuning. Yeah. So like once you guys figure out your trading style and the way that you want to trade and your strategies, it's just all fine tuning from there. Like if you guys look at my strategies here, we've been trading the same way for over 5 years now. I haven't really changed my trading style or my strategies too much. They're just different entry points. So we're just like, instead of creating new strategies, we just have like variations of each strategy now. All right, guys, there's nothing for us right here at the moment. Price is climbing back up. Let's go over to our clean chart. You can see price is now pushing back up to the 1 hour resistance level. So you guys can see exactly how price moved here. Price opened, range here in a huge range, came back down, faked out around the sessions, came back up into the resistance. And what do you think is going to happen here? Back into a range, right? It's like this stuff here is you guys can see the pattern here. It's pretty obvious. Range right here. Price broke below, consolidated down here, came back up. And now it's just probably the same thing. Sorry, guys, 1 second. All right, guys. All right, so there's nothing else here right now. Price is pushing back up, but I think price is probably going to range within the 1 hour resistance level over here. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I can help you guys with whatever you guys need help with. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for some entries here. But as you can see, price is getting closer to 730 right here, which is usually the cutoff for my entries. Reason for that is because we start to see market range and consolidate around this period here. You can see the ATR starting to drop a lot. So ATR is currently at 19 now. It was at 25 earlier, went down to 20. I said if price starts to dwindle down, to below 20, it's going to start to range more. And if it goes below 15, it's going to start to consolidate, which is pretty much what we anticipated here. Yeah, and going back to what like Maddie said, like, I cut the learning curve for Maddie here tremendously, right? So Maddie's only been trading for like 2.5 years. Maddie actually has more in funding than I do, I think. So if you guys have seen Maddie's account over here, yeah, Maddie has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He has 11 accounts. So I think, Maddie, how much do you have in funding? Like 1 point something mil? A crazy amount of funding here with Apex. So the downside with Apex is the payout structure. So Maddie's been making profits every day, but you have to make, yeah, Maddie is 1.8 million in funding from Apex. The payout structure for Apex kind of sucks because once you get funded, you have to make a certain threshold before you start to get payout. So that's the main downside with Apex here. And there's smaller accounts. So you can see Maddie's profits are a lot smaller compared to like mine. My FTM was making like 3,000, 2,000, while Maddie's Apex is making smaller, but they do add up. So they still have their pros, but when you guys do Apex, just understand that once you get funded, it's going to take a while for you to actually get a payout because you have to reach a threshold before you can actually pay out. It's kind of similar to Top Step, which I didn't really like very much. I think the platform is great, but the payout structure sucks. And I think it's because of the regulations that they run here in the US. So some more profits over here from you guys. We have Rashida with a total profit of 1,177 on her Tradeovate account. Nice work right there, Rashida. And then for MT4, she locked in the total profit of 575 for the day. Great work, Rashida. We got Valentine's total profit of 1,046 for the day. All wins here. We've got Kenneth, total profit of 2,405 for the day on his first account. And then on his second account, total profit of 2,260. Nice work, Kenneth. Yeah, nice recovery from yesterday's trades. It was tricky yesterday. Super, super tricky. Let's see. Alan said with Apex, he took 12 25K accounts. Was that better than one large account? Yeah, I think Maddie and Sisu could probably answer that question for you because I don't have any Apex on my end. But I would always go for the bigger accounts if possible. Yeah, so Maddie said over here, the payout structure with Apex is if you have a 150K account, you got to build it to at least 155,000 before you can start getting payouts. And the problem with that is that it's a smaller account and you have to take smaller lot sizes. So it takes longer for you guys to build that up. But if you stay consistent, you should have no problem. 1 second, guys. And I hate being sick. My voice like runs out mid-sentence. It's super annoying. Yeah, C6 said top step scaling is brutal if not ready for it. Yeah, no, Top Steps is pretty brutal, but like Eunice is one of the people in the group who's actually funded with Top Step, and he does pretty good. I mean, it took him a while to build up the account, but yeah, they start you with like some super small lot sizes, and then you just have to build up from there. It's like if you're using a 15 lot or a 15 contract, and then you want to trade that when you get flooded, I think you start with like 1 to 5 contracts, and it takes you forever to build that back up. So, I mean, it's good because it forces you to not blow your account immediately, but it is it's not good if you're already profitable because it's going to take you forever to actually get some payouts. Gosh, yeah. So Eunice over here said he started with 3 contracts per trade, and now he's at 9. So he's still scaling right now. But Eunice is doing great. So if you guys look at Eunice's profits, he's one of the funded traders here with Top Step, and he's doing pretty good. So if you look over here at Eunice, so Eunice locked in 1,349, and he's at 9 contracts right now. So when he increases his contracts, he's going to make more profit. I think when I was trading before with 15 contracts, my total P&L was like 2,500. So it builds up to that point. But yeah, I mean, if anybody is curious about Top Step, they're all good funding companies. It just depends on what you're looking for. in the fighting company. I think the best part about Top Step was the fact that you could trade directly on TradingView. I think that was like the coolest feature with them. All right, guys, so we got news over here at 7:30. The ATR is back up for some reason. It's like back at 24. So ATR just picked up again. We have high volatility. We have a pending sell signal that's been pending for quite some time now. We had a pending sell signal up here, and then now it's pending over here, and it was pending over here. Now it's pending on this candle, but we have a huge wick, so it's obviously not going to close. And I mean, we'll see what happens here next. Yeah, Matt said he's 400 away from passing the Top Step, waiting for an official trade. Yeah, and that's key right there, Matt. So if you're that close, you just gotta wait for those solid entries to come up, because it could be the difference between getting funded or the difference between getting stuck in some drawdown for a bit, right? So you're doing it perfectly right, Matt. There's no need to rush it or force it. You just got to wait for that solid entry. Right now, it's super risky because you might get a good entry, but with this whipsaw action right here, price might go up and hit your stop loss before it comes down and hits your TP. That's why I've been waiting for like some drawdown or retracement before I get into the position. And you can see the ATR here is super high. So if your stop loss is tight, like for example, our stop loss is 300 pips, right? The ATR is 24. At this point, we might have to adjust our TP stop loss if this is the norm to like 300, 500, because if this is the ATR, can you see how big these candles are? These candles are each moving like at least 300 pips, right? 300 to 400 pips. So if your stop loss is at 300, it's kind of too tight. So just want to be careful with that there. And we have news right here, guys. 7:30. All right, so we don't really have a consistent trend right now. If you look over here, the trend's kind of going back and forth a lot. There's nothing really confirming the trend right now. We might get a bearish trend here, but again, it hasn't confirmed yet. We're looking for the pivots here to shift. Yeah, the ATR is pretty nice right now. It's pretty high. It's going back and forth. A lot of whipsaw action going back and forth. So if you guys look over here on the clean chart, you guys can see where the actual range is at now. So the range is between the 1 hour resistance, which is up here, and the 1 minute support level, which is down here. Price came down directly to the 1 minute support, and it bounced directly off it, which was also opening price. So there's no high-low scalp entries available here because there's no confirmation of trend. But looking over here on our main chart, that sell signal still hasn't closed. Yeah, Eunice said what he likes about Top Step is that once you hit your daily loss, they disable your account for the next day or for that day. And you can continue to trade the day after. So it forces you to stay back and not revenge trade. Yeah, and I agree with that too. So there's a lot of good things about Top Step that will help you become a more consistently profitable trader. But I just think their payout structure sucks, especially if you're like consistently profitable already. Because it kind of forces you to kind of take a step back whenever you're kind of revenge trading and stuff like that. But the downside is that if you're super profitable or decently profitable, it's going to take you forever to get the normal payout you would get on something like FTMO. So yeah, there's pros and cons to like a lot of these different funding companies. All right, I was hoping we'd get something here, but you guys can see prices kind of just going back and forth. There's not really too much going on here. It's just yeah, it's just a back and forth movement. So I'm just gonna stick over here to the clean chart for a bit, so that you guys can understand where the risk is at. The risk is currently right here at the 1 minute support. I think that's a risk because what you could look for here, so there's a couple of things here that may come up. Well, just one main thing that I can probably look at myself. The main thing that I can see here is a possible sell signal with a red candle after it. If we get that, that may be an entry for a breakout V3 continuation. So we get a sell signal, red candle after it. It could be a breakout V3 continuation back down to the sessions down here. But the problem with that is that it's currently at the 1 minute support. So there's a support level right here. You can't see it on this chart, but you can see it on this chart right here. It's right down the middle right there. So it's going to be a problem. Price is just ranging between this area here. So there's not really too much to do or take. If we do get a sell signal, it might set up for a momentum pullback scalp. That's like one thing that you might want to look out for. There was one that came up right here, I believe. Or not yet, but so we need the sell signal. That's really what we need. We need the sell signal, and we also need to be careful for the sessions down here. So once we get a sell signal here, this might start to set up for a momentum pullback scalp, but you can see how the sell signal has not closed. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier. The sell signal has been coming up for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles now. So for the past 10 minutes, every candle that opens up here, it shows up as a pending sell signal, but it doesn't actually close. When you guys have something like that, that's very tricky because this is luring in people to enter those sells, right? Not necessarily for us because we already understand that. Whenever you guys see a pending signal like that come up very often, it's usually luring people in for a sell. Not necessarily for us because we're not suckers and we're not going to fall for that. But you can see when these big red candles come down, people don't have the momentum signal. So they don't know that that's actually happening, right? So if you don't have a sell signal there, you're going to see these big red candles and people are going to think to chase these entries in, right? But you can see how it fakes out. So see how this candle was having a sell signal earlier and now it's a big green candle? That's the fake out that's happening there because for one, retail sentiment is still heavy for a sell. So I'm not really looking for sells here personally because I don't want to get caught on that side. It's 80% short right now. This indicates that 80% of retail traders are currently selling. I typically want to do the opposite and buy because I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want to do the opposite. So looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 242 points. It makes no sense to take any sells right here because the market's super bullish. Lastly, looking over here at the technicals, the 1 minute here is neutral, the 5 minutes bullish, the 10 minutes bullish, the 30 minutes neutral going to bullish. 1 hour is neutral right now, and the 4 hour is bullish. So you can see here on the higher time frames, it's still bullish, but a lot of messiness can happen right here that can kind of push price around, especially because the volatility is so high. I'm surprised it's this high for today. There's not really too much going on. I mean, in the news. So we had, the gas stock change right here, which is negative. At 7:30. There's just not too much here to really work with. Gas stock change right there, and then it's pretty much been going back and forth since then. Yeah, exactly. Kenny said, good morning, everybody. Getting a late start. Maddie said the 15 and 1 hour look nasty. So let's take a look real quick. So here's a 15-minute time frame. You can see that price is in a heavy range right now. Yeah, it's not looking so great because there's such a heavy range in both directions. Looking at the 1 hour now. Yeah, the 1 hour looks worse. So like if you look over here at the 1 hour charts, this doesn't look good at all. So there's like literally no movement here on the 1 hour. It's just a huge range. It's been like this for the past 2 hours. So all of 6 o'clock back and forth, small little doji. And again, right here at the 7 o'clock hour, another doji. So there's been no direction for the past 2 hours, as you guys can see. Thanks, Magic, for bringing that up. And yeah, Rashid over here also mentioned that price is just ranging. Yeah, exactly. So there's a range, but it's not necessarily like a smooth range. This is more of like a whipsaw range. Because you can see how price kind of just goes back and forth. It's not really a smooth range. It's just going back. It's going back and forth, but heavily, which is what we consider risky, in my opinion. Because I'm fine when price is like, I'm fine when price is ranging. Like if price is ranging between these two areas, great, right? That's cool. We can take trades in between. But if you guys look at this right here, it's just every candle is kind of bouncing back and forth super quickly, which is Not a great time, not a great area for it to be trading in. It's just super tricky because the last thing you want to do is get into a position and then you end up getting caught in the whipsaw. So the problem with this here, let me just measure real quick. Because if your stop loss is 300 pips, if you get whipsawed, you're going to get stopped out, right? So this is what your stop loss would typically be. Like say, for example, you see a buy entry, price pushes up, you take your trade right there, and then it pulls down close to your stop loss right here. Not a good area to trade in, right? So that's a double-edged sword with having high volatility. Usually, if the market is just consolidating super small, that's fine because it'll push up and down maybe like 100 pips, right? And then eventually it'll hit your TP. But this right here, it's like you can get stopped out super easily in just one candle. But it's moving so fast. All right, Maddie, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Yes, Maddie's done for the day. Wrapping it up. Rashida said it's rejecting off the 50% fib level for sell on the 1 hour. Yeah, I could see it go that way too. I mean, there's a lot of different directions price can go. I think price might, well, if price does come down, I think it might come down a little bit to fake out again and then maybe come back up and then just go back in the same range that it's currently in. Right now, there's not too much going on. Let's see, Albert said I'm out, guys. Up 2% on my phase two, definitely kicking myself. And he asked for leaving the group. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah, definitely, Albert. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, that's key. If you guys made any profit today, I think that's key because today's not a good day to take any high risks. So, and it's getting close to Christmas. Just keep that in mind, guys. Today's the 21st. Christmas is in like 4 days. So the volatility is supposed to die down. I'm surprised it's super high right now. People either are selling off for the holiday. Today's Thursday. So tomorrow's Friday. Let me check the calendar for tomorrow if there's any news. So tomorrow morning, we have a lot of inflation news. You have PCE price index, we have personal income, durable goods. Yeah, it's a lot of inflation news. Michigan inflation expectations and Michigan consumer sentiment. So we have a lot of inflation, consumer spending, just inflation and consumer spending for the most part. And then new home sales right here. We have a lot of news actually tomorrow. So I can see why there's some volatility today because a lot of people are trying to sell off for the holiday, and then tomorrow is going to be the bigger sell off. So the news for tomorrow is forecasted to be kind of mixed. Actually, it's forecasted to be very positive. Yeah, everything is up. New home sales is up, or it's forecasted to be up. New home sales month over month. New home sales for the month are up. Consumer sentiments is anticipated to be good. So all the news tomorrow is supposed to be good. We might have a Santa rally tomorrow. So I think with this right here, price may continue to range, and then eventually we're going to have the bullish push by tomorrow. So I mean, if you guys are looking for that longer term move, but you can see over here that realistically price hasn't gone anywhere. So you guys can see where my liquidity is marked up. I marked this up this morning. And if you guys remember, price was like right down the middle earlier. So it was right here. And I said, okay, price is pretty far from both sides. And if you guys look at where price is currently at right here, it's like it didn't really go anywhere. So we mark this up pre-market. If I mark a structure right here, you guys can see that price hasn't really gone anywhere. So this is where price was pre-market, and this is where price is now. Not really too much movement. A lot of whipsaws over here. Fake outs came back down. Fake out right here, came back up. Fake out right here, and then it's back to where it was earlier, like as if nothing ever happened. So you just got to understand these patterns, guys. Like I see these patterns without even really thinking about it. I'm like, okay, this price was here earlier pre-market, and here it is again. So it's like a lot of the stuff were just fake out movements, and price is now back here. I think eventually price will climb back up and continue climbing, like by tomorrow. And I think that because the news here is supposed to be all positive. I'm just looking at the high impact news right here. This is neutral. This high impact is positive, 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 and positive. So they're all like pretty much majority of it's positive. So you can expect maybe a big bullish push tomorrow morning at 5:30 when the news events come out. So, and if it doesn't have a bullish push, look for that correction back to the upside because I do think price will be bullish tomorrow. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for today. If there's any other questions that you guys have, we got some more profits here from Steven. So Steven locked in his 1,205 for the day. Nice work, Steven. So he took that one trade today just to break out, and that's pretty much it. We got Kenny over here with a total profit of 4,660. Nice work, Kenny. So we got Steven's profits right here. And let me just take my individual screenshots of my profit. So I'm going to take my individual screenshots. And then after that, if there's any questions, I'll answer those before I get off for the day. So yeah, guys, if there's any questions, feel free to pop into the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to take screenshots of my profits real quick before we wrap this up for the day. All right, so this is my funded engineer. FTMO. Second FTMO. Second funded engineer. My personal account. And my TFF. TFF, I locked in the same thing. I'll just take one screenshot. So let me post this up real quick. All right, so let's see if we got anything else over here. Let's see. Camo said 2 wins for the day. Just got to start entering when you do, and I'll be solid. Yeah, I think that's the key thing, Camo. I think you're good at taking your own entries too, but just yeah, like I'll give you guys a heads up if I'm gonna wait. Like for example, today that candle was super huge for that breakout V3 continuation, so I just waited, and then when it came up, I came right into the position and it played out perfect. So yeah, in the future, it will. The days that that's going to happen is usually when the ATR is super high, Camo. So that's another heads up. If you see the ATR above like 20, then okay, I'm probably going to hold off and wait for the pullbacks because you're going to get some whipsaws that happen. But other than that, I'll try to give you guys a heads up whenever it happens or whenever I can anticipate it. Sometimes it happens too quickly and I can't, but most of the time I can. All right, here are my profits across my accounts for the day. So here's my funded engineer. I locked in 472 for the day, all wins there. Here is my FTMO. You guys can see the green strip. This is my main account, locked in 2,520. That's my main account FTMO. Here's my second FTMO, locked in 3,220. Here is my second funded engineer, locked in 268. Guys, I don't really recommend funded engineer to you guys because their I don't know, their leverage is just, it always changes. And I always have to adjust my my lot size because I'm not able to take a lot of trades. So I don't really recommend them. They're not really super reliable, but I mean, they're okay, but I don't recommend them to you guys. So here is my personal account, locked in 900 for the day. Here's my TFF, locked in 1,100. And my Second TFF locked in 1,100 as well. So there goes all my accounts right there so far. Looking over here at our team profits, we have more profits from Narith. So Narith locked in a total profit of 3,890 on his first account. Nice work right there. And on his second account, locked in at 3,970. Nice work right there as well. We got Eunice over here. He took no trades for the day because he's getting his payout. Nice work, Eunice. And that's solid. So you guys did pretty good for the day so far. Let me check the chat real quick. Kenneth is asking, is there a reason why some members of this group don't use FTMO and would rather use other platforms like Apex? I mean, the main selling point for it is that you can trade directly on TradingView. So I mean, that's a big difference, right? If you want to trade, because the thing is when I enter trades on here, you can get in at the actual price. Like if you want to take liquidity, you can get in at the actual price because you're using YM data. So that's probably the biggest selling point for Apex and the biggest selling point for Top Step in general. Like those are the only reasons I use those platforms to begin with. The reason why I'm still with FTMO is because I have all these accounts, right? I can't copy these over. So if there's a way for me to copy all my accounts over, then I would use both. But it's hard to trade on two different platforms. So you have to kind of choose one or the other, unless there's like a bridge program that could come out at some point. So like if I was to trade on Apex, I'd only have these. And like with Maddie, he trades on Apex, but he only has these. He doesn't trade on MC4 anymore. So that's like the main thing. The biggest selling point is just trading on TradingView because you have the exact price. You use YM data. There's like little to no manipulation when you're entering trades. And that's like the biggest point for it. So like for me personally, I might do that, but have a separate computer to just enter trades on here. But I've tried it before and it's super hard to enter trades because they happen so quickly. Let's see. Shamarki is asking what happened to TFF. People are complaining about payment. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about TFF. My payouts are fine. I think Kip's payouts are fine. Kip's like one of the top traders on TFF. He's on the top leaderboard every week, every month. So I think the people who are complaining are usually people who are not actually profitable. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about complaints with payments, but usually the people who complain about prop firms and stuff are people who are like not even funded or not even getting payouts. That's usually like the people who are complaining. Because I don't really see people who are actually funded and getting payouts who complain about anything. Like I never complain about FTMO. I get screwed over sometimes by FTMO and CFF. But as long as I'm getting paid out, that's completely fine. So I'm not sure Shmarky who's complaining about it, but I haven't heard anything myself. My payouts are fine. They're kind of delayed sometimes, but I don't think they're not making payments because I mean, once you're consistent, they want you to stick with them because it's going to be beneficial for everybody. So yeah, Shamarky, I haven't looked at anything. So if I see anything, I'll let you know. But for me personally, I haven't had any issues. I don't think Kip has either. He's also on TFF. I don't know if anybody else here is having issues with payouts, but I haven't heard anything from our group specifically. All right, guys. So I think that is about it. So guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, it's about to be 8 o'clock. I don't really recommend anybody trade unless you guys really need to, but we're going to wrap this up for the day. So if there's any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live.